Okay.
We good?
Mm-hmm.
We have a quorum?
Yes.
Okay, who's online?
Director Norma.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, yeah, let me call this meeting to order, the regular board meeting for January 7th, 2025 at 4:08 p.m. Tuesday at the University of Guam College of Natural and Applied Sciences Building, room 126. Let's do a roll call.
Chairman Joseph Santos.
Present.
Treasurer Katrina Regis. Secretary Norma Castilian.
Here.
Director Marlene Revo, absent. Director Thomas Tanaka Jr., absent. Yogi Advisor Dr. Bavakwa.
Present.
Staff Jonalyn Abanales, present. Staff Savannah Garcia.
Present.
Okay, we have a quorum. Thank you. And so have you guys reviewed the December 10th, 2024 minutes?
Yeah.
So is there any concerns, questions, or comments?
I'd like to move to approve the December 10th minutes.
Okay, there's a motion to approve or accept the December 10th, 2024 minutes. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, it's seconded by Secretary Castilian. It's open for discussion. If there's no discussion, what is it? Say aye in order to approve the motion.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. So the motion carries. It's unanimous. Let's go into the next item on the agenda. It's the district chair's report. Again, there's the upcoming event, the joint annual meeting, and this joint annual meeting that we're going to have is meant for not 2026, or should be meant for the 2026, but we have to focus on 2027. So when it comes on the meeting that's being arranged, I think we already scheduled a tentative date for this.
That's the local working group.
Yeah. So we're trying to do it within the local working group.
Joint together?
Yeah. The joint we have a meeting within that time, because we're also discussing items that we're doing. By the way, they had a strategic plan which is supposed to tie into this joint annual meeting and the local working group. Did anyone attend that?
The strategic planning session is for Southern District on the 30th or 31st of this month.
No, they had one just recently.
Yeah, that's the one that we attended.
Oh,
You, me, Savannah.
that one's for the long range plan.
That's the one with.
Yeah, the long range plan.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to be working on that to fill in because rather than, I think the decision was rather than making any change, starting from scratch, we're just going to make
adjustments.
We're going to make amendments to.
Okay, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is because NACD will not. That's going to tie into any grants we will receive.
Director Marlene will be joining us.
Okay, thank you. Is she on?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just want to recognize Director Revo. And so there's four board members online or on board. And I just wanted to, going back to our meeting in terms of that strategic plan is going to tie into our any grants that we're going to get from NACD, and they're going to make it clear that is it in your plan. So that's why we need to make sure that plan has the goals, objectives, and the tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to look at the task side of the house to see if that ties into whatever grants we're going to get or we're requesting for, especially the technical assistance portion of it. And we'll talk about that as we go along. The stewardship week is April 27th to May 4th. The planning has already begun on this over here, and we want to make sure we get everything going. That's when we'll also put out about the artesian
poster contest,
and we need to do some stewardship week. Normally we do some tree planting. There's a proclamation and all this stuff. So we want to make sure that it's pretty good to go and we get our partners involved. in the mix relative to this. The education symposium is July 23rd to the 25th. The locations to be announced, but we can make arrangements for the museum again if we need to. I just need to know if it's a go with the board, if you want to proceed towards that. The agriculture symposium is in October, and we need to further discuss that, and we need to assign a board member to take the lead on that. And the last board member that was taking the lead on it was Director Regis. And do you want to continue on with that?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yes, for now.
Okay. And then the last upcoming event that's going to happen is the election. The election is this year, and so we have to make sure by June 30th, we submit a list to UOG on the what do you call it again, on the registry.
Registry.
Okay, and but remember, the registry has the bona fide farmers, anyone that voted before, and then we can go into the land management website, and anyone that comes in, we just have to know that they're a landowner or a land occupier, and that's really what it is. And that doesn't have to be in the registry. That just is an opportunity to give the land occupiers the opportunity to vote should they want to vote. But the list that we're going to rely on are the bona fide farmers and anyone that's on our registry, to include our partners if our partners are part of the registry. So they don't have to be a landowner, they just have to be part of the registry. Yes?
I don't want to be presumptuous. That's why I said maybe, because the elections are coming up. So if I do return back, then I'll take the responsibility if I return back. I don't know how the voters are going to be. I can't predict the election. So that's my explanation for why I said.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
No worries. Because we have, but we can do the planning portion, and then once the election comes along, then we can know if there is a continuity or it's a change, but we already have the planning done. Yes.
I also want to add that during our LRP meeting, we decided to move the local working group to May.
Yes.
We're in
Around Stewardship Week.
Right. May's not Stewardship Week.
It's May 4th.
Yeah, April. So anyways, well, in terms of that local working group, the primary resource concerns are due by August. And so I think that's why we want to bring it up in advance so we can flush it out, because there's supposed to be the actual primary resource concerns, and then what specifically is that in that primary resource concern are we focusing on, because that's how NRCS issues us out the money for the grants based upon those 5 primary resource concerns in there. The other one that's coming up, I wanted to bring it up. I just was slipped the Invasive Species Council GIST meeting is happening, but it's also the reason why I'm jumping around is because there's a training that's occurring. When is this training? It's this month. I need to know who in the board member is going to attend. So it's
January 14th to the 17th.
Yeah, January 14th to the 17th is going to be at the Trades Academy, and then on the 16th is the meeting for the GIST meeting, and we're in charge, I think, of two areas. One is the governance, and the other part is the marketing
Stewardship. But we do want to add marketing, according to Director Chan.
Yeah.
I want us to be on marketing, please.
Okay. Okay, so
GISC.
Then the projects that we have is the NACD perimeter fencing grant. There are 3 farmers that have completed the pre-application and process and are ready to begin next phase. Others are continually being contacted for updates. We just had the island-wide poster contest. We completed it, and we did have a presentation of the checks and the awards this morning, and so what we want to do is now we want to do a showing of the artwork for the students, and we can do it via maybe physically, but we want to also set it out as kind of like a maybe like a YouTube video or a video showing the artworks and the individuals involved for it, so we can say that this is an actual conservation stewardship art contest, and we go from there, and that builds up bringing the kids into the mix because they know the kids are involved in it, and so that's why we're pushing to also get that media
Press release
to say this is it. And I was hoping we would get the students who want to be on there so that we can give that, but we need permissions from their parents in order for them to put their picture in the mix.
Yes.
But we can do a presentation on maybe we need to go back and get the teacher and the district and do that big check that we did, at least that, and with all the students going. I don't know, was it Dr. Bavaka invited?
Which? Oh, this morning?
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God.
Only the board directors for the assembly. But just to hop on that train, I didn't have any other maybe presenting it in Stewardship Week would be great too. Like 2024, these are our artwork, and then introduce the 2025 one at the same time.
Well, those are things we can do, but the reason why I'm saying is because most people, they can go physically down to the thing, but most people will look at a video and they'll watch it, especially when it's interesting or it deals with their family, and they just say, "Hey, this person was on there," and it'll be great because then it's forever in the what is it, the World Wide Web.
Okay,
and so
I can just add it to the website.
Yeah. Okay. So we have the next item is the RCPP, which is the Guam Ecosystem Restoration and Stewardship Program. That's the 700 and how much thousand?
700,000?
Yeah, 700,000 that we got for a grant with NRCS, and the partnership agreement has already been sent to Nick. We just have to hold schedule a stakeholders meeting for this, and hopefully the other board members can get involved in it, because we need to make sure that this goes through. There's two parts to this. One is the acreage fencing, and the other one is land restoration projects within here, which tries to secure the area from invasive species and from even the human invasive species coming in and trying to claim it. So we want to make sure that's taken care of. We've been helping out the Guam Invasive Species Council by putting in the announcements and helping them do their minutes and their agenda. We need to somehow do the transfer of responsibility back to them. They do have staff that works, and we need to make sure they're engaged. And I'm not sure why they're not engaging their own staff, literally in the.
They have one.
Huh?
You only have one.
No, they have an AO can also do this work. They have an AO, they have an AA, they have an administrative assistant, and they have an administrative aide. They have 3 administrative positions that are there that can do that work. That is not that if you look at their job description, that is part of their job description. If they're turning around and saying, "No, I'm this," then they're acting like a prima donna, and we need to bring that back and say, "Hey, they need to do their job or else quit." But we need to get that. We need to get that back in, and I'll talk to Chelsea about that, because we can only help so much, and then we need to move on from there. We have the the NACDTA 2024 grant. It's tentatively approved. We just have to come up with a project action plan, and part of that funding, which is going to be 164,000, is taking care of the funding the educator symposium, the agricultural symposium, and getting other positions within that supports the district and the different projects that we have. One of my concerns I have are bringing up is the issue of where we're going to house them, and then if we hire an employee, we need to make sure they have the equipment in order for them to do their work. And so those are things that we need to look at and see how we can go from there. We're trying to produce coloring books, which is localized, and we want to use it in terms of conservation. And so we're working to try to get that going, and it's currently in progress. So once we have the final thing, we'll bring it up to the board, and we can move from there. You know that there is a book that we purchased the royalties to, and we haven't seen that book, and GACD, both boards transferred the royalty and every responsibility to the association, in order for the association to make money of that. But it was abused, from what I can recall. What's the name of the book? Do you have that?
No, it's in that. That's all the books.
That's all the books? Yeah, so we need to get that out to the bookstores or to places that sell books on a consignment basis and see what we can do to
But
get that.
GACD has to decide that.
Well, of course, GACD has to decide that, but it's there, and we purchased, I think, 1,000 copies. We made 1,000 copies of that, and in order to sell the stuff, so we need to get that action going.
Can we sell those to GDOE?
Yeah, we can. I mean, we just have to turn around and you can have it. People want a lot of books that are Guam based. They will actually buy it. As a matter of fact, there's another Dr. Bavaca that has a book that you go into Navy base and the exchange, and they're actually selling it, and a lot of people are looking. I mean, when I look at them, they're actually looking at it to purchase it. So that means somebody's making a lot of money of that, and so we need to do the same thing with that. But we have the coloring books that we can also do that. So let's go into any questions in the district chair's report? If there's no questions, then we'll go into the treasurer's report.
Okay. We currently have $67,065.46 in the checking account and $11,109.80 in the savings account. We received a total of $21,646 from UOG in January. This is for 2025.
Okay. Okay, so any questions on the treasurer's report? Okay, on the I know it's under the committee report, but it should have gone under the district chair's report. Guam Green Growth, the G3, which is for sustainability, is asking for support. And before, we used to be the primary supporter, or not the primary supporter, but one of the supporters. I think it was 10 grand, was 5 grand, and then that we were doing with both the North and the South. But then we were receiving federal grants. I'm not sure why they're not using that, but they're asking if we can donate.
Sponsor again this year.
Yeah, we can sponsor for them. The board members, you just have to decide that. We'll decide that in the next meeting, because it's not listed on as an action item on our on our agenda thing. But I just wanted to bring that up. The budget is due in January, actually this January, to University of Guam.
Okay.
And we need to make sure that all the information is done accordingly. And from my discussion with the legislature, we need to put it in the form that they they view it in normal, not the way we're sending it out to UOG. And so UOG is using that same format. I'm not sure why we're not duplicating their the same thing. Yes.
I did call the procurement office today at UOG, because I also spoke with Miss Roberta from GCC from the procurement training. And she said since UOG is our advisor, then we have to follow UOG's procurement process. I did call the procurement office, so I'm just asking permission.
No,
we can
okay.
connect.
We cannot follow UOG's procurement process because we'll get in trouble. We're considered a government organization or entity, so I know we have to follow
Their BBMR process.
Well, no, we don't follow the BBMR process on the
Okay.
budget. Procurement is different from budget.
Okay.
For the budget, our law reads that we just submitted to the University of Guam, the President University of Guam, who subsequently transmitted to the legislature. So we don't have to transmit it to the governor. We don't have to transmit it to anybody. We just transmit it, send it to the University of Guam under the budget process, and they submit it in as part of the listing of it. But we need to follow the format that BBMR has established for every agency of the government of Guam to follow. And actually there's a law that has it about budgeting, and it says that BBMR is the lead in terms of the forms. Now every agency has to follow that, and this is one of the reasons why when the legislature looks at it, or when the governor's office looks at it, or whomever, they're looking at, there's a standardized, okay, these are I'm looking at staffing patterns, organizational chart, what is the programs that you're going to have, and then what is your budget broken down into the categories that they establish. And so that's different now. On the procurement side of the house, we're a government organization, so we don't necessarily follow UOG's thing, but we can use UOG as a tool to get us where we need to. I think that was done with our travel. We turned around and we voted to defer to UOG for the travel thing, because GSA requires that we go through, what is it? What do you call it again? Those travel agents. Mm-hmm. You have to go to those travel agencies. But UOG has said no. Their process is that you go directly, and then you get reimbursed by the University of Guam. That's their policy. Not going to a travel agent. And so that's why we defer to it. We have to vote on how we want to use on the procurement side of the house. Are we going to use UOG's policy as a template for us to use? But we have to look at it individually and say, okay, this is what we're using, because we're partners with UOG in the process. We don't report to the president. We work together in our different missions to get what we need done. Let me see. Invasive species, water quality. We're part of the committee in terms of water quality and on the north, and we need to provide that to you guys, is the issue of what's happening with our aquifer. And right now, it's contaminated because there's high levels of nitrites in the soil that's being detected, and they already did a study on that. If you go to WERI's website, you see that there's a listing of what the study reveals, especially because it's really super red when you put it up and you see it. But we need to work with EPA, Guam EPA, and GWA, and how they're going to address the issue of doing it. The problem we have is the policy writers or the policy people are the problem in itself, because they are allowing. An example is there was just a recent law passed that allowed the densification of a unsewered area from 4 lots to 6 lots now. So you can have 6 homes on an acre property, and that's really super bad. because then it further exacerbates the situation with the aquifer. Any questions on those items? If there's no questions, let's go into old business. The NACD 2025 annual meeting. We offered this to help the CNMI in terms of specifically their lodging to assist them. They don't really have the money to travel, but NACD is trying to help them out with that, or helping them out with that, and we're coming in and helping them with the per diem. And we discussed this, what exactly are we going to cover down on and supporting them, and it's the lodging side of the house. It's 1,420 that we're looking at in terms of what the cost would be. And so we need a motion to approve, move forward on this to support CNMI on this per diem side of the house, specifically for lodging. That's all we're funding, is just the lodging side of the house. Their room, their board, which is their meals and incidentals, and their trip is taken care of. They're taking care of it on that side of the house. Again, on the trip side of the house, on the flight side of the house, NACD's coming in and going to help them out with that. But on their food and meals and incidentals, that's their government side of the house.
Did we previously agree to this?
Yeah, we actually said yes. Let's see what we can do to help them. Now we just need to finalize what it was on the last meeting. Director Revo brought it up that really what is it that we're going to support them on, because we want them to be part of the NACD gathering, the meeting, but we don't want to go. They're not really our responsibility, but we want to help them out, and so that's what we're doing. So Mr. Glenn Mangloni is the representative to on as the Saipan Soil and Water Conservation District, and so we're trying to help them out, get to the NACD meeting in Salt Lake City.
Okay, then I'll make the motion then to support CNMI SWCD on this trip to Salt Lake City.
For their lodging.
For their lodging
only.
Right.
Okay, and the amount that we're funding them is 1,420, and that should be at a, it may adjust depending on other things, because there's also taxes involved, and I don't think the taxes were included as part of the thing. But we'll bring it back to once we finalize everything, what the cost is. But the general cost is 1,420.
And plus taxes.
Well, I think the taxes are included in that, but we won't know until we're actually assessed the amount, because remember, they have incidentals or other things, like their city tax, what do you call that, where they travel? There's a travel or stay tax.
Well, we have to make it very clear to them that this is just for lodging.
Just for lodging. They're aware of it. It's only for lodging that we're going to deal with. Okay. So there's a motion on the floor to approve the CNMI use of lodging for the Northern District to pay for the lodging at the cost of 1,420, pursuant to the GSA, of course, the GSA rates. Do I have a second on the motion?
I second that, Chair.
Okay, there's a second by Director or Secretary Castellan. It's open for discussion. Any discussion? If there's no discussion, let's move to vote. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Director Marlene?
Director Rivo?
Aye.
Okay. There's ayes. It's unanimous. Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is the 2025 Mariana Island Conservation Conference, which is on March 5th to the 14th. We're just waiting for where the location is going to be at. Again, it's the Mariana Islands Conservation Conference. And so we're not taking the lead on this. We're just participating because it's dealing with conservation. And we don't know exactly where the location's at, but we just wanted to bring it up to prepare the board members for that. In February, we can vote on this once we find out more specific items, because if it's going off island, then that's when we have a problem. If it's on island, then it's good to go, but we don't know literally what's the stats in it. We know it's happening, but we don't know the specifics of the location of where it's at. Yes.
Southern team has joined the meeting.
Oh, thank you, Southern. Who's the Southern?
Erica Pangilinan with
Erica.
Southern District. Off a day. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, happy New Year. We have the on-island biosecurity training. Okay, is this the one on
This January? GCA.
Okay, this is the Guam Trades Academy thing, and this was already brought up. It's the January 14th to the 17th, and the acting biosecurity chief had asked if I wanted to present, or if I can present on the authorities of the
Species Council,
and then what their responsibilities are. But I said okay, let's look at that. But I just wanted to bring it up that this thing's occurring, and it's dealing with the invasive species council training, and they're breaking it down into technical groups, which ties into the committees that we're involved in also. The perimeter fencing grant, the process and contractor, can you, gentlemen, can you give more specificity on that?
So Savannah and I had created the draft guidelines to try to streamline the process. You could look at your paper that says draft fencing guidelines. You could see here we have a pre-application process. So the farmer would have to be a registered district member, must be actively farming, must have an FSA farm and tract number, and must be a landowner or leasee. So once they pass that, then we go on to the application period, and this was recommended by NACD's team on how to go about the perimeter fencing grant. So we have the listing of what they have given us in this form. We will be attaching this to the farmers folders for accountability, so please look over it. We also have NRCS's items on here as well, such as tech notes and all that stuff. And then we do have a post-application portion, which is site visits to be scheduled after submission of eligibility and application. This would include soil sampling, scheduled visits, USDA, NRCS, APHIS, Forest Service if applicable, and the contractor name if they choose. One of the things that we had to pivot towards is we're going to have the 3 or 4 contractors visit the farms. And once they visit the farms, then I would submit a budget amendment to NACD so we are able to fully reimburse the farmers when we get started, because we don't have a certain range of that yet, because the amount currently may not be enough for the farmers at the moment.
So the options that we have and what we're gearing towards is that if the farmers are going to get involved there, we'll pay for the equipment and everything, and the contractor they can take care of. But what we're trying to do is mitigate that by asking for additional for that to be part of the grant amount within there. By the way, once we exhaust that, then we go back again to get another grant dealing with fencing. So this is like a continual grant that we can apply for where we can get going, but we just have to get it off the ground and get it worked out. Get the what is it? The logistics and everything straightened out, because we're starting it out, and once we're done with that, then we can continue on with it. The RCPP is also the same way. As we discussed with Nick, once we exhaust the 700 some thousand, we can go back again and apply for it under the same project thing, especially if the project is successful in itself. And again, this is helping out the farmers and in terms of invasive species side of the house. But that's really the gist of what we're talking, and so we'll get more of the specifics back to the board members and see how they can go from there. And again, we want to make sure that, especially because it's the northern, we want to make sure they're northern farmers, and we help them. I mean, the South, I'm sure has a program also, and so we want to make sure that we work together to see what we can provide all the different farmers on Guam. But our effort is on the northern farmers and getting them to progress into what they need to do. By the way, I just wanted to bring up the GIS meeting, second quarter meeting is on, again, as a reminder, is on January 16th at 9:30 a.m. at the Guam Trades Academy. We're responsible for governance and I think it's marketing or stewardship. Yeah, so we need to make sure we help in that process of getting them going, and especially with the Pharaoh swine side of the house, because we need the Guam invasive species plan also passed, so that the money that they're collecting can be used for the purposes that it has. On the new business side.
Chair?
Yes.
I have a question on the site visit for the fencing grant.
Yes.
Okay, so the plan is to conduct the site survey with 3 different contractors to visit the farmers' location, right? So how many I remember from the last meeting that we were looking at, we closed the waiting list at 30 based on the budget that we have. So one thing that needs to be considered when conducting a site visit, the synopsis should already be published. And typically the synopsis is standardized. But in this case, the problem we're going to run into, we have 30 farmers with 30 different farm sites. And probably, so the scope of work is not going to be standardized. So where we're going to run into, which would delay the submittal of the cost estimate from the contractors, is if you're going to do it like that, they have to visit all 30 farms. They have to prepare a cost estimate, 30 different cost estimates, and then they have to give you a grand total. So I just want to, give that heads up to you guys.
So Jen, okay, thank you for that information. Now, one of the things that we're looking at, because we don't have enough money for 30 individual farmers. We already know that from the get-go of what we're looking at. Did open it up to there, and there's 30 individuals that would like to receive the grant. Now, like I said, once we exhaust this grant, we go in for another grant, which is very similar, and we just have to make sure we iron out all the things that we need to iron out. Now, we don't need all 30 farmers, because the North is generally the same across the board. It just depends on the location, and we just have to, when we go out and we look at the individuals that are there, who are the individuals that have met the criteria already in the priority listing, and let's go out to these particular things and see how much it costs, because again, we only have a limited amount of money, but we want to keep
yes.
This.
So can I give you an example of what the Sea Grant did, on the aquaponic system? I want to share this, and it's working out very well. So it's good that there are 30 farmers, and we have a credentialing process that was vetted by NACD and NRCS, right? So on the Sea Grant side, what they did is that they went through the same thing. Basically, they had more applicants than the systems that they have. So what they did, they took in all the applicants anyway, and then on the second round, which in this case we have, which is the RCCP, and then we pre-vetted those farmers. So that's something. But when we make that, we make sure that we announce that to the farmers, because they can, they can submit to mitigate the complaints and whatnot. So that's one way that we could do it. And then we can standardize because we have the materials that we know we're going to use. We know how much, we already said 1 acre or less. Then based on, the cost estimate that we receive, we can say the budget can only accommodate, let's say 10 or 12, because that would include the installation. But there are 30 farmers. We can move, then we can submit that to NACD. So that's one way to go about it. Then, it would be a win-win situation.
So what we're doing is we're reporting a lot of that information already to NACD. All we're doing is now trying to iron out and make sure the process that we're doing serves the amount of money that we have, and then go from there and then apply for the next batch of grants that will be available to the other farmers that are interested in on the wait list. We don't wanna open another wait list. We want to use those same farmers that are on the wait list to move forward with it. But we're just letting you aware that this is happening, and thank you for the input and information, and we'll take that from there and move forward from there. But we just wanted to inform you that that's what's happening with the process and the contractor discussions. Yes?
Just to continue on a little bit, just so I can show you guys. With this guidelines, we've created communication logs, budgets of what we already have, financials to keep track, milestones to ensure that we're on top of what we got, recipient application progress. So this is all of the applicants that we have right now that we are trying to, and we only have 3 right now that are completed. So this is what we have right now, just so you guys are aware that we are working on keeping track on it.
So we are on top of it in terms of doing that. But let's move forward from there, because we're just trying to finalize a lot of the things dealing, especially with this grant. Thank you for the information on that. The next item is we're going to go into the new business, which is a GIDA qualifying certificate grant. It's actually by the Guam Regional Medical City who's funding this, but it's under GIDA's qualifying certificate, and we're calling it. This is a program that we're calling it Haftaimano, a how-to program. We want to be able to videotape, video it, and write a small booklet on how to do things like how to make tuba, how to do certain things, and then having it as a series on there. And it's the max that we can apply for is 25,000. We want to go for that 25,000 completely. It's due January 31st, so we want to be able to take that program and say this is what we want to do with that, and we want to work with maybe UOG in terms of doing it, because especially SINA, as they deal with that, we're not going to benefit from it. We're just going to use that as a tool to
as a resource.
Yeah, to get the necessary resource that we need, but have the program where we have booklets and a video on that. Maybe we can YouTube it, so it's a program series that we can continue on a regular basis. And so I'm just letting you aware on January 31st it's due, and it's the GIDA qualifying certificate funded by the Guam Regional Medical City under the qualifying certificate program, and it's 25,000 is the max, and it's due January 31st, 2025. On the next item on the agenda is the NRCS State Advisory Committee meeting. as we agreed upon, the South is going to take the lead on this, the STAC meeting. They only required one representative to represent Guam, not two individuals, but the South will be representing us, and hopefully they can report back on what's going on with the STAC. They're focusing on the focus that they're doing is the Farm Bill, or whatever changes need to be made on the Farm Bill side of the house. And so is the NRCS State Advisory Committee meeting. And again, the South is taking the lead. Next year we'll take the lead, but the South is taking the lead on it. And I think the representative, Erica, is Glenn Takai, right?
Yes, the Vice Chair, Glenn Takai, will be the representative.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is the FY 2025 Guam Soil and Water Conservation District election. I need a vote on this because we want to make sure our staff is supporting this at 100%. So we move forward with it. And again, the district registry is due June 30th. So whoever's on the district registry, which is our bona fide farmers, our previous people that were voted on the last election, our partners, if we're going to have our partners on there as an organization, so they're voting as an organization on the thing, and then of course the land occupiers, which are landowners and long-term lessees. So I just need a vote to make sure our staff can support our advisor in getting this being successful in the mix.
Mr. Chairman, before we vote, I would like to ask your help in organizing a planning committee for the election. Their primary role will be to establish the procedure for establishing the voter registry, and that the committee would be made up of representatives from the North and the South and the university. From the South would be Erica Pangilinan. Are you there? Glenn Takai.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
From UOT, it would be me and Mark Acosta, and then we would ask you to appoint one director and one staff member to represent the North.
Okay. Do we have any board member wants to be on the election committee? All you're going to do is just provide advice on how it should go, or what's going to happen from there going on. And so once that's done, as a board member, you're stepping out if you're going to run for election or re-election. And so we just need a board member to attend the meeting. Anyone?
How many meetings do you see?
Probably one.
Probably just one meeting.
Just one meeting.
Okay. Anyone?
I'll go.
You go? Okay. So we have Director Castillion, Secretary Castillion, that will be representing us on there, and we need a vote to make sure both that we're go in terms of official. Director Castillion and our staff members will help on there.
One more question before we vote. Gentlemen, would you take the responsibility for organizing these 6 people or scheduling a meeting where they can all come together? Yes. So please vote.
Okay. So you got that? So do I hear a motion to have Director Castillion and our staff providing support to the election advisory committee? Do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for Director Castillion to represent the board on the advisory committee for the election, as well as the staff.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor to have Director Castillion represent the board on this Guam Soil and Water Conservation District election as advisory committee, along with the staff providing support on it, seconded by Director Regis or Treasurer Regis. Any open for discussion? If there's no further discussion, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
One more aye.
Director Narma. Director Norma.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the ayes have it. It's unanimous. Let's move on to the Hudson Almond Partnership. We have the Hudson Almond Partnership is the native medicine garden partnership that we're working. We're trying to work with the COTC, Ms. Jessica Dede, in order to get it accomplished and get it over there. Actually, this is going to also tie into our land restoration grant programs, and so this actually ties into it. Just wanted to bring it up to you guys about the Hudson Almond Partnership that we're working on. Again, this is another we're working with that, and then getting other NGOs involved to do this land restoration project. So that's where we're at. We're at miscellaneous matters. There's no really miscellaneous matters to discuss unless you guys want to discuss anything or bring anything up. No? Yes?
The districts had made a request for interns, and the university is working on that, and that we probably will have something concrete to report when students return to campus on January 21st.
So on January 22nd, we'll hear a response from our advisor on the stewardship. I mean, on the.
I hope so.
Yeah.
But what's good for you, for both districts, is to begin to conceptualize a description of their duties.
Okay.
So that the
ready.
student, like when you interview them and they ask, well, what do I expect to do? You can say,
This is what
you'll be a support person for the election in August or whatever.
Okay. So that's actually good to go. So we'll make sure that gets taken care of in line with that. There was another thing that just slipped my mind in terms of miscellaneous matter, but
I have one too, Chair. I have one.
Yes.
The proposed office location. I think the idea to pursue the one at Chamorro Village is ideal because number one, it'll alleviate the issue that happened. Well, the way that we share the office now. First of all, it's not enough to accommodate the growth that that we have coming. Because for planning purposes, the office space per person should be 16.6 square feet. So and with the looking at the staff that we would be hiring, moreover, we have our files, and the South have their files. But so I was thinking like one office per district, one for the South, one for the North, and then the conference room would be joint. So I've been, going back and forth with Jenilyn. So we're just waiting for, the cost. Once I have that information, then I'm going to send an email to Director Dula, my counterpart on the proposed office for the district.
Okay, so because I work for the Department of Chamorro Affairs, and the Chamorro Village is under the jurisdiction of the Department of Chamorro Affairs. The Chamorro Village is going to go to a massive renovation.
Okay.
Literally. So they're going to take the huts that are there and enclose the Festback huts. That's actually the action to enclose that. But the plan is to do it within 1 year from the time that we begin. And we already got the grant. The grant that we got was $5.7 million to do all the things. That includes building the office for the Department of Chamorro Affairs, President's office, and other offices. But it's also rebuilding the Sagadinanya, and then also renovating the entire Chamorro Village area as a part of. So when you turn around and do it, the construction is supposed to last for 3 years. We've been there,
So
but
it's going to be closed for 3 years, is what you're
no,
saying?
it's just that the phases of when they're going to do it is going to be there, and so I don't think that Chamorro Village is the right area to even focus on. Okay, so I
Okay.
just wanted to bring that up. Okay, I just wanted to bring up our next meeting is partnership meeting is February 25th, 2025, and our next regular board meeting is February 4th, 2025.
Erica had her
Erica?
hand raised.
Yes, Erica.
Hi, yes, I just wanted to send a quick reminder about the NACD designation form for the board. So I know during our joint board meeting, it was agreed that the Northern will be the lead for this upcoming annual meeting and throughout the year. I'll go ahead and forward that board designation form. I'll fill it out with Glenn Takai's information as the alternate. And if the North can submit that directly to Caleb, I believe the deadline for that designation form is January 10th. So just a
Yes.
reminder. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, so move. We're adjourned at 17:04 p.m. Today. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Chair.
Okay.